Hi, Steve. Hi, everyone. I don't know if you got cut off for a minute, so I didn't quite get what you said. But I'm assuming you're talking about the voter DApp.
Yeah, yeah, please go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Okay, so initially when we started the voter that we started, it was to apply for the Binance Hackathon, and we are already like a team of developers, mostly from Western Africa, and we just focused on trying to solve problems using the blockchain. It brought a lot of promises to it, where there's no centralized data, and we saw it as an opportunity. So, talking about Voter itself as an app and as an idea and how it started. Initially, when we thought of voter, was a couple of years ago after a certain election in Nigeria, and a couple of friends and I, we lost a couple of people during the election in Nigeria due to violence. Some people got shot and some people died. And we started thinking about how do we truly bring some level of decentralization to the election process. Since this happens every 4 years, and every 4 years there's some kind of violence that's trying to stop people from voting. So when we lost people, we came together and thought, all right, we want to build a solution for this. Technology is coming; it's inevitable. It's a solution that we have to take advantage of. But how do we start? So we thought about, okay, how about we build an election voting platform before we even discovered, okay, we can make something on the blockchain. So Voda itself as a name was something I came up with a friend of mine who's from Zimbabwe. So Voda exactly means votes in Shona, which is a language in Zimbabwe. So the problem that we faced at the time was what drove this idea. So we've always had it on the drawing board. Most of us left our original jobs to go into blockchain development, and most of us software engineers. And when we finished building this particular demo that we have, which we showed on the Binance Hackathon itself, after showing it, a couple of people reached out to us, people who were interested in what we're building, and a lot of questions arose. How do we really provide something that can truly be trusted, and how do we get people to actually use it? A country selection is a huge thing. You can't just expect people to adapt to it without making some change in one way or the other. So we went back to the drawing board and we started looking at the idea itself. There's a lot of things that's involved in it. We might be looking at having to introduce some sort of oracle to the smart contract itself, so that it will be able to interact and make sure that it's actual citizens, without having some kind of third party voting and skewing the results of the election, which is equally as worse as the initial problem we're trying to solve. So, which I will kind of go into the UI and to like the example or the demo of what we started working on after we built this as a demo. So what we thought about was, how about we find a way to bring a blockchain to an everyday person, where people can ask or poll their audience using basic questions and basic interactions. Say, for example, someone wants to have a party and they're undecisive about, all right, I don't know where to have this party. And they say, okay, they ask a question, where do you have this party? And then they give about 3 to 4 options, or, sorry, 2 to 4 options about, and then share that URL with their audience or someone that they know, and then those people go in there and then they use the blockchain to vote. So that brings us a little closer to our goal. It doesn't exactly bring us there just yet, but it brings us a little closer to the goal. So what we thought of was, initially the idea that we had was, okay, how about we bring it to schools and these smaller organizations where that has some kind of democratic structure to it. So people would be able to get acquainted with the idea of being able to use a trustless platform, to using the blockchain to be able to vote, and have their opinion and their thoughts be heard. Nobody can change any of the results, and you get to see results in real time. So with that, we started building a small application again after that. So we started off with, I'm going to show you something on our UI itself. So this is kind of like a demo that we're working on, and we're still working out a couple of kinks and trying to build out the UI itself. But what if you have a poll that you can ask a question, provide options, and be able to create a poll and see it and be able to share it. So given the example that I asked, that I spoke of before, which is what is the best location for my birthday? And I want this poll to end in 3 or 4 days, given whenever I have this. So I can say at home, pancake diner, which is just an example that I'm giving, or I can say a restaurant. And when I create this poll, one second. Oh, I'm still on the test net. I'm supposed to connect to my local network. Sorry about that. And I say, what is the best place location for my birthday? I can say hotel, restaurant, pancake diner. And then I can create a sample poll and let that, be written and then the block added to the blockchain, which is something that I'm currently running on my local machine. But in the instance where I have this and it's showing me, okay, what is the best location for my birthday? And it says, when it ends and whatnot. So this is a basic poll idea. So someone can connect their wallets and select an answer, submit their votes, and have their votes count towards the poll itself. So this is basically a simple adaptation of the idea. So we wanted something minimal and something simple that we can introduce to people in local areas who will be able to apply it in their local departments or whatever industry that they are in. And so after that, we also, we've been talking about a lot of different ideas, which how do we build this up enough that it has some kind of traction that when we take back the election platform that we built initially and reintroduce it, that it will become part of the conversation towards having a free and fair election. And so we thought about, for example, one big event that's rocking our country, Nigeria, is Big Brother Niger, which is an event that's hosted pretty much every year. And it's such a huge event. People have to vote via text. But what if people can vote a couple of years down the line, people will be able to vote using the blockchain. So we're trying to introduce payable contracts where people will be able to vote with actual money, which is the same mechanism that's been applied via text. But in this case, using the smart contracts where people are constantly saying, oh, the votes, we don't trust the votes that these people are giving to us or the results of the votes that these people are giving to us. So you have a polling system that works in such a way where you will be able to see real results of your votes. So in this sense, I already voted. So it shows one vote and it tells me that I've already voted. So we have these smart contracts and we're trying to use them to drive change. It's technology, and Africa basically missed out on using Web2 to drive innovation in most parts of it. But if we're able to introduce Web3 earlier on and begin to gradually let the concepts and the usage seep into the different communities and have people start adopting these technologies over time, we would have a community of people who have grown acquainted to what the blockchain is and have learned to be able to trust smart contracts that are audited and they have the results, and they can trust the process and trust that nobody can change anything that I put on the blockchain. So this is kind of an example of like the basic idea of what we have. Ultimately, the goal is to be able to get to elections, which was the initial demo that we built. But introducing this right now into a country's election it's a big dream, it's a big goal, and it's something that we're working towards. But starting out small and being able to have small patches of people across Africa being able to adopt this and just use this to run their local polls, or just get to be able to communicate with their users. It's a start. So that's where we are starting, and it's a huge idea, and that's basically what we have in store.
That's great.
Sorry, you got cut off.
Yeah. Sorry, like the internet wasn't so stable here.
No worries.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to say I'm very impressed how this project was established based on like real life needs in countries, different countries in Africa. So first I want to know, can you briefly introduce the team? Is it just you, or who else are working on this right now?
Oh, yes. The others, given it's a Sunday, the others are unable to make it. But we're a five-person team actually. So we have two designers, two developers, myself included, and one person who manages the branding and being able to communicate with, just basically reaching out to individuals and having users being able to test what we have and realize whether there's too much friction with user onboarding, or if it reduces just basically going out to the field to test.
Got it. There's anyone already like using?
So for us internally, we're just using like some versions of those sometimes just to play around and be able to, because this is a product that we're building, of course, so we're testing it out. And the interesting fact is some of our developers, some of our designers actually are in university in Nigeria, University of Lagos. So we're thinking about how about you start introducing something, an idea like this into your school departments and being able to say, all right, if you're voting for the next student, someone who's going to lead the department, how about they try out using something like this to be able to run just basically have a real world example where it's been used. So we haven't actually deployed this contract. If you can see, it's running on my local host on my local machine right now. We haven't deployed it on the testnet or the mainnet as it is. And of course, why we did choose BSC is the gas fee, and if you compare the income of people in places like Nigeria, the average income of the average Nigerian, the income of the average Nigerian isn't that high to be able to manage something like the ETH blockchain, or we thought about the L2 solutions, but we really couldn't think of any. So BSC keeps the costs low for people to be able to vote, and basically anybody will be able to afford the gas fees that are necessary. And of course, we're working also, one thing I want to point out is we're working on the solution where people can just sign their results and have other people submit their votes for them. So you can sign your results and someone else can pay the gas fee for your. So we're just looking into those solutions, of course, any way that we can to be able to make it accessible to users and to be able to provide this solution to people. That's the goal.
The assumption here is that people should use crypto to participate in the voting session, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Really curious about the situation, how crypto are adopted, like how well are crypto adopted in like the African community in general right now?
Yeah. So adoption right now, there's still a lot more friction to it. a lot of people don't trust the cryptocurrency because of, the advantages also, it causes it to be some kind of a double-edged sword. And coming from a place like Nigeria, when you bring up an idea like this, when it has to do with crypto, people go like, "Oh, someone I know lost money on crypto," but and everybody kind of seems to focus on the financial aspect of crypto, which is good, which is also, of course, the initial driving force for it too, and it's of course a nice driving force for any new development that we have, but we want to look past just finances and go towards utility. And right now, there's still friction, so we're trying to educate as much people as we can, putting out more information as possible in just minor communities. Most of the times, people I know that are kind of from the communities that we come from, they don't usually get on these big platforms. So most of them are cooked up in some Facebook group, and they're talking about this, and most of the times people are scanning them. So we're trying to be able to give them better information on cryptocurrency. And adoption, of course, is still a little low, but what we're trying to do to reduce that friction, which is an idea that we still have on the drawing board, is having some kind of last mile access where you can have somebody within your immediate community who will be able to load some kind of who will be able to in Nigeria, we have some sort of recharge card situation where if you want to make a call, you can buy a recharge card, load that up, and be able to go to get call credits. Now, imagine where you'll be able to walk up to someone within your community and say, "I need some BNB on my wallet," and they're able to send it to you at a given rate, at a good rate. So that's the idea that we're working towards, which is it's still huge, and we're gradually trying to refine it as much as we can to avoid people getting given that the price of crypto sometimes fluctuates depending on the market. We also want to be able to make sure that people get the best deals out there. And so these are the things that we're working towards and trying to incorporate into our local community. So it's a gradual process, it's a slow process, but it sure is moving.
That's great. That's great to hear. Yeah. I think right now really an emerging topic, and we've seen a lot of like very complicated DAOs, DAO schemes, and I think confuse people with different.
Sorry, you got cut off.
Yeah. I think what Vhota DApp is doing is really simple and easy to use. That people can actually launch voting. Sorry, launch voting and for different situations, for elections, for something as small as a meeting or making a decision for a community, etc. So I see huge potential in Vhota DApp myself, and like Dora Hacks, we also value on-chain governance teams and projects very much. So we do want to support as well. So I believe Vhota DApp will continue to build after the Binance Hackathon at the Dora Hacks DAO hack that we're hosting right now. Feel free to check out their project progress there on hackerlink.io. And we look forward to discuss more on how Vhota DApp can develop more features or bring on more users and clients maybe in the future. I'd love to discuss that with your team in the future. Yeah.
Absolutely. And thank you for your time. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, we're very happy to host two amazing teams, Hulk Finance today at Dora Hacks project demo session. Before we go, first, if you haven't followed our YouTube channel, make sure you do that. we'll post workshops and project demos there almost every week. So feel free to check it there. Also, sorry for my internet breaking in and out today. And yeah, if you go to hackerlink.io, you can find most of our Andorra hacks, Andorra factories DAO hack ongoing, and we are about to launch Polygon Grant 1 and a few other grants soon. So yeah, stay tuned for opportunities of participating in those grants and also opportunities for support later. Um, don't miss out for the amazing new teams. They can really change the world from different aspects and levels. And Dora Hacks will always be happy to support. Yeah. And we'll be back in a few days. Have a great one.